the rollie, stole with the rollie on. What was our getaway car? Jag portfolio. You hear me? Hey, I heard I had some sneak dissers. Whoever feeling hot, that AR got a heat sensor. Cuz said don't entertain them hungry niggas. I wish I would pay attention to these homeless niggas.
Throughout his whole career, D'Angelo Russell has had numerous expectations that he's had to live up to. Coming out of Ohio State and being a top 5 pick in the NBA draft and being drafted to the most storied franchise arguably in sports in the Los Angeles Lakers, I think it was safe to say that the expectations were very high for D'Angelo Russell coming out of college. And I'm not saying that D'Angelo Russell was complete garbage when he was in LA, but let's be quite honest here, he never really showed any type of potential of being an all-star or a great player or a player that could lead a team to the playoffs consistently year in and year out. I just never really got that vibe from him. But right now, this season as we speak, he is having a phenomenal year and a breakout year, I will add, as the Brooklyn Nets are being led by him and they are currently in the playoffs right now and they are the 6th seed. Yes, 6th seed, and also with a winning record. And keep in mind that their best player went down earlier in the year in Caris LeVert. So imagine if Caris LeVert, I'm not saying he should come back this season, but imagine next year if he comes back, that would be a huge addition for the roster. And I think they have a really solid young core. I mean, you have D'Angelo Russell, like I said earlier, Jarrett Allen, Caris LeVert will be coming back, and also you have players such as Spencer Dinwiddie and Shabazz Napier, who even though Shabazz is not like phenomenal or anything, he's still a solid quality young rotation piece that I think will be really solid going forward in his career. And Spencer Dinwiddie, man, he has surpassed everybody's expectations and he has well deserved the contract that the Nets gave him, and I think he's going to be really special. But the player that I really want to harp on is D'Angelo Russell. But before we go any further with this video, if you guys are not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And also you guys drop a like down below and comment your opinions down below, and subscribe to the second channel as we are growing there as well. But now let's get back to this video, because D'Angelo Russell over the past 20 games has been phenomenal, and I really emphasize phenomenal, because you can look at the season averages and say that they're really solid, because this year he is averaging 19.6 assists, 4 rebounds, a steal, while shooting 44% from the field, 37% from 3, and also 81% from the free throw line. But his overall season stats don't really show how he's improved this season, especially when you consider how he used to play. Because the thing is, when you look at the first 20 games, they had a record of 8-12, and his numbers were not impressive at all. I mean, he was shooting below 41% from the field. I think it was hovering around the 40% mark, and also he was shooting relatively decent from 3, but he also was averaging 17 points and he was shooting 74% from the free throw line. And when you consider the fact that, like I said, they weren't winning games, that was a big deal, because what I always thought about D'Angelo is that sometimes his numbers were really not that impressive, and even though from time to time he would show potential and flashes, especially, or should I say primarily on the offensive side of the ball, at the end of the day they're not winning games, and his game is not helping them at all, because he's not efficient and he's not really that much of a facilitator, and his IQ is very, very low at times and very poor. But this year, over the last 20 games, he has stepped up, because over the last 20 games they have a record of 16-4, and sure, they did lose to Miami, but I'm not counting that as a part of the 20 games because he did not play. But over the past 20 games, he's averaged 20 points, 7 assists, nearly 4 rebounds, while shooting 47% from the field, 39% from 3, and 96% from the free throw line. And it's not like they've played trash teams in this stretch. I mean, I'm talking wins against Houston, wins against Boston, wins against the Lakers with LeBron James, wins against the Sixers, and also a win against the Toronto Raptors. And in all of those games, he balled out in each and every one of them. So when it comes to D'Angelo Russell's play, I've definitely seen enough growth and improvement from his game to the point that I can label him a franchise point guard if he can continue this level of play and grow on it. And sure, he may not be an all-star this year, but I definitely think next year it is not out of the realm of possibility that he can be an all-star, because D'Angelo Russell right now is improving. I think as a shooter has improved, and his IQ has definitely taken leaps and bounds with his shot selections. And don't get me wrong, he could still be relatively stupid in some of the shots that he takes, and that's not to throw any shots there, not trying to be rude, but at the end of the day, D'Angelo has definitely shown improvement this season, and if he can keep this up, I don't really see a reason why the Nets should just let him go in free agency, because he is balling at a very solid high level, and he is leading this team to wins. Because one of the things about D'Angelo Russell's career is, one, his leadership, his maturity, and also the fact of his inconsistencies. Because another thing about his time in LA was that he would have these long stretches of hot. Yes, he would be hot as hell and would be phenomenal, but then he'd also have these long stretches of being ice cold. Yes, ice cold as hell. But this year, even though he did start the season off shaky, right now he is catching fire and he is leading the Nets to wins, and he has shown enough talent and potential that right now it's all about him, and it's about him improving day after day after day, game by game by game. And sure, the Nets, they're not the best team in the world or anything, but they have definitely superseded expectations. I mean, this is a team that going into this season, no one had them making the playoffs, and up until this year, they've been a complete joke, let's just be real. And honestly, when it comes to the Nets, I'm not trying to disrespect them, but let's be real, they should have been cut from the NBA years ago, so let's just cut the cap there. But when it comes to the Nets this season, they've definitely stepped up. Like I said, it's not just D'Lo on this team that's balling. Dinwiddie, Napier, you also have Jared Allen, Caris LeVert was balling earlier in the year, and also shout out to Joe Harris, because for years and years he really wasn't given a fair shake, especially in his time in Cleveland. But this year he has balled at a very solid level. Not saying he's going to be an all-star or anything, but I think he's been a solid quality starter for them, and I think he's definitely shot the ball well, especially from the three-point line, and he has helped this team. But back to the topic at hand, at the end of the day, this all falls on D'Angelo Russell. He has been leading this team, and sure, like I said, it's not just him. They have a solid core, but D'Angelo Russell, I gotta show him some love, because he has been proving the doubters wrong. He definitely proved me wrong, because I realistically just thought he was going to be a guy who was going to put up empty stats for the rest of his career. But this year he is leading this team, and hopefully this video doesn't age too bad, because I hope that he can keep this up and lead them to the playoffs, because I think it'll be really cool to see the Nets finally in the playoffs, because after years of being so trash, and sure, it's not the players' fault because they have bad management, and the new management can't really do nothing about that bad management. Let's be real, it was pretty stupid what they did at the end of the day, because when you're trading players like Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, and Jason Terry, who are not even in the league anymore, for players such as Jason Tatum, also players like Marcus Smart, Jaylen Brown, man, that's gotta sting an organization, and especially that new management that has to be able to pick up those pieces, or should I say try to pick up those pieces. But shout out to D'Angelo Russell, because he is proving everybody wrong, including myself, and I hope he can continue this up and lead this team not only in the playoffs, but also lead them in the right direction going forward as a franchise. But before I wrap up this video, if anyone would like to help me with the new logo, make sure you hit me up on Twitter or on Instagram, and don't worry, you will be compensated. And also, you guys, stay tuned, because my podcast will be returning back, and I know a lot of people have been asking for it, and I will have a new lineup, and more than likely it will be on my second channel. And thank you to everybody that has gone over there to my second channel and shown some support and love. It is very well appreciated on my part. But if you have not subscribed to that channel, make sure you go subscribe to it, and also subscribe to this one if you're not subscribed. Drop a like down below and comment your opinions about this video. This is your boy Young Mustard signing out. Y'all have a great day. I'm out. Peace.
Magic was also asked about former Laker D'Angelo Russell, and here's what he said. D'Angelo is an excellent player. He has the talent to be an all-star. We want to thank him for what he did for us, but what I needed was a leader. I needed somebody also that can make the other players better, and also somebody that players want to play with. Ooh, Pablo.
One eternity later.
10 to shoot. Russell picked up by Kuzma. Russell got it! It's a three! Ice in the veins! D'Angelo Russell! Clutch!